In this video, I'm going to show you the other features within JustPlay's drawing tool. In the two previous videos, we showed you how to draw in freehand mode and in mouse mode, and now we're just going to go over some of the other features within the tool here. Over on the right side, you have all of your frame controls. So this first one right here, this is just going to be a copy button. If I click that, it's going to copy that frame right below it. Next, you have this key button. This is just where you can set the thumbnail for this play. So wherever you see this play throughout your system, you're just saying that this frame is going to be that thumbnail that you see. The next button is the ability to add frame notes to each frame within your play. You can do that within the drawing tool here, and I will also show you how to do it when you exit the drawing tool, just in case you forget to do it in here. Just click on this button and it's going to bring up your different frames where you can come in and type out the notes that you want for each frame. Then you have this next frame and previous frame buttons down below where you can just toggle through each frame and get those notes in there. We do recommend to keep this in paragraph form just so you could fit as many notes as possible on each frame and still effectively be able to print it out on one piece of paper. Always just click save and you'll be good to go. Then down below, you have the trash can button. This just gives you the ability to delete this frame or any of the following frames. And if you hover in between frames or at the end of one, you have the ability to add another frame right there. Over on the left side, you'll first see your ability to set favorites. So if you have a certain setup that your team runs a lot of and you don't want to keep having to set that up every time you come in to draw a play, you can just set them up. Drag a box over it just like you were grabbing some files off your computer. Those will group together as you see here, and then you have a few different ways to add those favorites. So over on the left, you'll see the star button. Over in the bottom right, you'll see the star button again, and if you double click, this quick menu will pop up and you'll see that star button one more time. If you click on that, you'll be able to name it whatever you want, and then you can add it to folders if you would like to, if you want to distinguish between offense and defense or something like that. Most importantly, you have this add to team favorites button right here. If you check this box, it's going to add it to team favorites in the top left. This means that everybody that has an account in your system will be able to see it. If you uncheck that, it will add it to my favorites and only I will be able to see it in my account. So just be aware of that. Then down below, you have the ability to drag any of the players back onto the court in case you delete them. So I can just drag the two right back on. You have the A here, which is a text box. You can come in here and really type whatever you want. If you want to use players' numbers or maybe their initials or whatever you would like, you can do that as well. You'll see when I single click on a player, the design properties pop up on the left. When you double click, that same menu pops up right below it. You'll notice all of these players are really just text boxes, so you can type whatever you want here. You can also change the color. You can change the fill of different shapes, which I'll show you here in a second. And you can also change who has the ball without having to make that first pass. So if I just want the two to have the ball, I'll check that and the circle will move over to the two. Next, you have your shapes. I would say the most important way that people use it is to drag a triangle out. You can change it to orange as you see right here and use it as cones to draw up some drills for your players. A lot of teams will also drag a square out and make it like a landmark on the court or something like that. Lastly, you have some more properties over on the left. You can change the canvas. So if you want to change it from the one you originally started with, you can come down here and adjust that. Maybe you want to draw a side out of bounds or an underneath out of bounds. You have that ability. And then you have some other settings down below. So display timing delay, that will just add a small number on the lines when you have a timing delay set. Don't have to worry about keep line tools active. All that will do is once I click this drawing tool, it'll just always have that selected, which you probably won't need to use too much. You have match line color to figure. That's just gonna match those colors. Assist with alignment is what you're seeing right here, that red line. That is making sure that all of our players are lined up. Retain color settings is just gonna save those settings when you change the colors. And use enlarged arrows. I do recommend to always use enlarged arrows. It just looks a little better on the canvas, but if you do want to use small arrows, you'll see what those look like. So there's the large and here's the small. Whenever you're done drawing your play, it's super important to always click save and exit this green button. It's going to save everything you did in there, including your notes. And then right here is where you have the ability to add those notes outside of the drawing tool. That's this details button right here. Same exact window will pop up and you can add those notes. Note, do not ever hit this red X right here if you want to just delete one frame. This will delete all of these frames. So if you want to delete a frame, just click edit and use the trash can button within the drawing tool right here. Next, you would come over and just add some video to your play. So you come over, click add, and you can drag and drop any files that you have on your desktop that are maybe an MP4 file or an MOV file, and that'll load up to 100% and you'll be able to add those videos to your play. We also have our Synergy API tool and our Sports Code Wizard, which you can learn more about in a separate video. Lastly, let's go over the actions button up here. You have some different options when it comes to your plays. So when I click on the actions button, you'll be able to add it to a presentation that you've created. We'll talk about presentations more in depth in a different video. You could also make a play inactive from right here if you wanted to. So having plays active and inactive just dictates what your team can see on the app. You can copy a play. So if I click this, it will make an exact copy of this play. Then I can draw another option off of it without having to redraw that whole play again. You can delete a play from here. Be careful using this one. You can preview it on the app just to make sure it's looking good for your team over on the app view, or you can print that play out. You also have the ability to print right here with this print button, and you can make a play inactive with this button right here as well. So those are the other options that you have when it comes to drawing out your playbook in your system.